Hello, everyone. It's January 3rd, 2024, and this is the third episode of the 365 Shares podcast. I'm Steph. Today's affirmation is called Step 1. Step 1 in Adult Children of Alcoholics goes, "We admitted we were powerless over the effect of alcoholism or other family dysfunction, that our lives had become unmanageable." Dysfunctional family. I come from a family of functioning alcoholics. I have great-grandparents who were non-functioning alcoholics. I had parents who were prescription drug addicts. My partner also comes from a dysfunctional family. In addition to the substance abuse, there were, by various members of the family, domestic violence. There was a lot of codependency, verbal abuse, neglect, and it really set me up in the early parts of my life for feeling like I just was never going to fit in with my family. I was never going to be respected by my family. I was never going to be treated well or the way that I wanted to be treated by my family. And in a lot of ways, I still feel that way. What I am working on changing is giving up my illusion of control over changing them. All I can really do is work on myself, which I've been doing for a number of years, I would say, in earnest, in therapy and recovery programs since 2016, which is when my ex-husband informed me that we were getting divorced, which was a very painful time in my life. And that was when really started to look at why I chose him as a partner, which is what, my therapist was asking me, like, why did you choose this person who was clearly a functioning alcoholic? And really examining my choices and how they could really be kind of caused by my upbringing and my family of origin. One thing I learned in therapy was that we try to recreate old wounds in order to heal them. So we will put ourselves in situations that are similar to old situations so that we can reopen that wound and get triggered and have a new outcome this time and really experience it maybe with more age or more wisdom or more support in the form of a therapist or a support group. So my marriage was really an attempt to deal with some family dynamics that I was not comfortable with and not happy with. And I learned a lot through that process. And in a lot of ways, I've put myself in other situations to mimic the relationships that I've had with different family members or different partners and just really try to get to the bottom of, what was the damage and how can I fix it and how can I feel better about it? But again, all of that is really focused on me and my recovery from codependence, my recovery from being angry and feeling helpless and trying to control and trying to manipulate and trying to manage other people. And it's makes me sad that I have to take some time away from my family of origin, which is what I'm doing this year, just to really focus on myself and acknowledge that things might never change with them. They might never treat me the way that I want to be treated, and that's okay. They're on their own journeys. And even though it sucks and I wish it was different, there's nothing I can do about it. And I think that's really where step 1 comes in, admitting we were powerless over alcoholism or other family dysfunction. And I have to remind myself all the time that I don't have control over my family. I don't have control over the dynamics about people's individual actions. I don't have control over anyone but me. So the affirmation for today is, on this day, I see wonderful things happening in my life as I loosen my grip and let go. So I'm Steph, and this is my share. I really think this, the whole passage from today, which you can find in the Strengthening My Recovery book for today's date, January 3rd, was such a great passage, and it really spoke to me in so many ways. And it calls, it refers to conflicts with family as emotional car crashes. And I thought that was a really great way to put it. That's really how I felt after this past holiday season when I traveled to see my family. I just really was so depleted. And I realized also that in the weeks and maybe even months leading up to the trip, which I had been dreading, I think, for the most part, that I really just had sort of been slipping away from myself and from my recovery. I found I felt really tired. I felt really stressed. I felt overwhelmed. I found myself being resentful of people in my current life, in my day-to-day life that normally I would be happy to spend time with or happy to do things with. I even found myself feeling like I didn't need my ACA recovery group anymore, which is just such how my family is, like thinking that everyone else is the problem and holding other people to higher standards than you hold yourself to. And I don't want to be that person. I want to always hold myself to the highest standard of anyone in my life. So really just thinking back on like how the negative anticipation of the trip impacted me, how the actual trip itself impacted me, dealing with the postmortem of the trip, which is still impacting me because I still don't really have resolution, but I've chosen just to lovingly detach from my family of origin. And I don't know, it's just been a lot, but I do find myself as I don't talk to them or interact with them, as I try to shift my attention from thinking about them to thinking about myself and the positive things I want to do this year, hanging out with friends, with my partner, with his family, taking on new activities and new challenges this year. I just find myself getting back to happy, getting back to calm, getting back to humility of knowing that I'm still in recovery and I will always be in recovery. And it's so easy to slip back into that codependency or that anger or that frustration or feeling like a victim. And I'm just feeling so much calmer and better to where I can get up, I can do my routine of I do New York Times puzzles in the morning, and I get up and I start work and I hang out with my cat and I, try to read something or watch something. I cook almost all my own food and I make healthy meals and that makes me feel really good. I work out. I'm finally going back to Orange Theory today for the first time in a few weeks because I've been sick for such a long time and I'm really excited about that. I actually got a text from them today saying like, we miss you. We hope to see you soon. So I'm really excited to go back to Orange Theory, to their lift classes, because those just make me feel really healthy and strong. And I feel a lot of optimism. And even just about this podcast, I've been wanting to start a podcast for such a long time. It's almost such a cliche thing now of like everyone wants a podcast or everyone has a podcast, but this is just something I'm doing for me. I'm not anticipating that this is like the next big thing in podcasts, but I'm so excited for myself to have a record of my thoughts every day. Like this is my journal. This is my time capsule for myself that years from now I can go back and say, I did something every day that was just for me. And I can go back and think like, how was I feeling? I can pick a random day and say, how did I feel that day? What was I going through? And hopefully, as I've had this experience in the past with other, writings or journal entries or screenshots that I've taken on my phone, it's great to go back and look at something from a year ago or a few years ago and say like, wow, I really remember thinking that or feeling that way, but I don't feel that way anymore. Or that feels so far removed from my attitude or my life now in the best possible way, because it shows me the growth and the benefits I've gotten from all the hard work that I've done and that I'm still doing. So this is really just something for me. Anyone who has found this podcast or is listening, I really appreciate you. The quality, I think, will continue to get better. I am using my Blue Yeti microphone that I didn't use the first episode because it just wasn't connecting with my computer the right way. And I just unplugged it, turned off my computer, restarted the next day, and it was working. So that will get better. I'm I'm going to reach out to a few friends who are musicians to see if they can put like a little ditty together for the intro, because I know a lot of podcasts have just a little kind of musical intro or something to, get you started in the podcast other than just me saying, hi, it's me. So I'm excited for this learning process that I'm on. I'm excited for all the ways that this will evolve. But again, it's just about recovery. It's about coming back to your center. And it's just about being excited. Like I said, on this day, I see wonderful things happening in my life as I loosen my grip and let go. So to anyone out there, I hope you're having a great day. It's a Wednesday, so there are still 2 more days in this first week back of work for the year. I hope that you are getting to ease into things and that there is nothing crazy happening. But if you are slammed and if you had a million emails when you go back to the office, I hope you're able to clear them quickly and then know that there are only 2 more days of the work week. So thank you so much. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.